All right, so your mom worked for a laboratory. Your mom worked for a
Nursing home.
Nursing home. Okay. Were we super rich guys? BMW standing outside.
No.
In the beginning, two-bedroom apartment.
We were struggling.
Two-bedroom apartment.
Yeah,
You
I had a
two-bedroom
two-bedroom.
apartment.
I had a two-bedroom.
Right. I had a one-bedroom apartment. I was the poorest out of all of them. He reminded me he had everything, but I was the poorest. It was interesting. I was the poorest rich kid probably.
Yeah.
My mom had nothing, but she gave me everything.
Right.
And these
So you're
guys
richest
had,
kid.
Yeah, yes, richest poorest kid. 80s New York, iron for y'all. For me, it was very fear, a lot of fear. I had no father, right? So like I used to come home with my mom, drove down the streets, and like there would be gangsters all around, and they would come up to her and scare her a little bit, and she's the immigrant, single Pakistani woman, divorced, right? Did you guys feel the same fear at the time? I'm sorry with humor.
80s was bad, man. I mean, going to school, right? At that time, what were the Jan sports that were in style?
That was late 90s, but before
Yeah,
that,
90s,
mountain bikes were
Okay,
there.
even before that, yeah. I mean, I think it was. I wouldn't say as bad growing up in the 80s, like in the mid 80s. I mean, I would still take my bike, go to his house and stuff.
Yeah, that was more than
Right.
80s though.
It was late 80s.
It was lady. I was 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
8 years
like,
old.
your
For
parties,
you, yeah, you were 8.
your
right?
parties would have gangsters come in the hallway and throw eggs. Like, I mean, that's like you didn't.
Late
For
80s,
the record,
late 80s, early 90s. I'd say.
Omar's memory is it's like Omar's memory.
was-
Some things are really
That was
there.
Dinkins, right? The mayor at that time.
Some
Yeah, it
things
was
come
Dinkins.
fast.
It was Dinkins.
Some things come really fast, and some things don't. Dinkins was the mayor, and that's why it was
Yeah.
bad. And then Giuliani came.
Junior
Yeah.
IQ.
He
Now,
cleaned
it's
up-
not a
he
political
cleaned up
show,
New York
but
City a lot.
Giuliani, hate him or love him, he cleaned it up. I'll give you guys an example. His parents had a big anniversary party in Jackson Heights, Queens, Halloween night. One of our friends got egg in his face, LeBen.
Yeah, 'cause you do that.
Shout out to LeBen. Right in his face.
Wait, why do you call him the bad?
Okay, well,
Wait, that was really good shit.
Yes. And yeah, he came
We were friends that time.
he came crying up there. Bro, it was bad, dude.
No, aside from that, I mean, we would go to these parties, auntie parties, right? There would be birthday parties, and I remember they were like around like 30 gangsters
Yes, on the
sitting in front
Yes,
of the door.
It's not,
right?
it's not seen, right?
And we're going in with our mom.
Yes.
Chalo, Omar, chalo, andar chalo.
Yeah.
With their shalwar kameezes on and stuff. And I was like,
It's
I mean,
cold, right?
that's what I
Do you see this like DMX and his like whole party right in
But
front
funny
here?
enough, don't you think that was our norm though?
That was a norm, yeah. it
Like
was a
now,
norm.
you're in Tracy, yeah.
Yeah.
If you see that, you'd be like, "Oh crap, this is this
Yeah.
is serious."
Yeah, you don't see that
But
here.
that was our norm. Like Avenue K was bad. These buildings were like the drug lords
Bro,
lived in these
I knew
buildings.
I had a feeling it was bad. I'm like, this is not normal. But I used to come
No,
to Florida.
you knew it wasn't.
I come back.
That's why you
In
probably had
Florida,
more experience.
And I see summer, and I go back, and I'm like, whoa, I'm
Like
so
I remember
scared.
the first time I got robbed,
Yeah.
and that was the most scariest part.
What
And
happened?
it happened like a business deal. It was my birthday. I had $20, right?
Yeah.
It was me, him, and my brother.
Yeah.
And we went to the like little bodega on the corner, and we're
get-
walking home.
With
cruising.
ice cream in our hands.
Ice
Yeah.
cream. I had a 6-foot thing of
You remember
bubble
the scene?
tape.
Okay.
Everything, right? We had a bag of Doritos in it. Doritos were only a quarter back in the day. And I still probably had like probably $15 left, and we all had snacks. And this kid on a bike comes up to us,
What's
and I'm
up,
like,
yo?
"Oh, that's my brother's friend." He stopped. He said, "What's up?" Right? And I'm like, "This is my brother's friend. Umar might know him. Cool, whatever." I didn't know what was going on, and then I see him do something like that, and he pulled out a knife on these guys, and then I was like, "Oh crap!
Yeah.
I think we're getting robbed." And that's when it hit me, and I was like, "Crap! I'm getting robbed." And then it all happened. They got robbed because my brother was holding my money. They took our everything.
Yeah.
And then when the kid left, I had to ask them. I was like, "So like we don't have any more money?" Like, and that was it. That was the first time I got robbed.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me. And then it happens. It happens
Yeah.
more. It happens
Every
here.
more
It
is more.
happens there.
I was thinking of doing my
You know?
karate,
Yeah.
like, I was with Karate Kid Part 1.
But that was the norm, is what I'm saying.
Yes. But it's still...
If you grew up in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Queens, like all my boys that grew up Brooklyn, Queens, they have the same story. Till they started doing it to other kids.
Sure.
You know, and it was just this rotation of how it worked. Like you just went to the next kid
Yeah.
and then you did it. When
Yeah.
you were in high school, you picked on the junior high school
Yeah,
kid.
but we didn't.
We didn't rob.
Yeah.
Right, we didn't rob.
We're not. We're
But
pussies.
it's
How
just
about
how it
you?
worked.
Did you have a situation that you had a few that were fearful?
of getting
Fearful, like,
robbed?
you're like, what? Oh my god!
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I used to play basketball.
Right.
Right? So I was the only Desi guy on
You were.
all my
By the way,
all my
shout out
teammates
to my
were.
boy Omar Khan, one of the best JC basketball players. Used to be. Do
Oh,
you still
damn.
have it?
Used
Still,
to be?
do you still
Oh,
have it?
Maybe
Yeah,
he's good
man.
at Tracy. He's good at Tracy out here.
Oh, just Tracy?
I don't know. I'm asking.
So
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. I mean, playing basketball, I had a lot of African American people on my teams.
You can
Pretty
say
much
black. You can say
pretty much
black.
in the whole
Yeah.
whole league. And there was one time we actually won a game, and there were actually these guys standing outside with guns. And I was like, "What's going on here?" And he was like, "Yo, y'all niggas think that you're gonna beat us?
Yeah.
We see you outside."
Oh, really? Like that?
It was like, Karen, like,
Okay.
You don't remember when we went to Ditmas and we were playing basketball at Ditmas and somebody
Yeah.
pulled a gun out and it cleared
remember
out
that,
everything.
yeah.
It cleared it. That was an exciting
Fast.
day. We were playing basketball, shooting
"Oh,
around.
like a white man can't jump scene."
And yeah, and then I don't know what's happened in a different court. Somebody pulled out a gun, and like the gates were open, but people were still jumping over gates
Yeah.
just to clear it out. But that's what I'm saying. We came. That was our norm. If that happened today,
Yeah.
Yeah, our schools were not like 10 out of 10.
No,
or like,
no. Like your
you
kids'
know,
school here in
Hey,
in,
let's take you
Mountain
for
House.
some activities.
No.
We
So-
just
Roll
we
the
didn't. We
punches.
made our own activities.
we made our own
Yeah.
activities.
right. Going home was an activity.
But the overall in New York had a fear. I mean, this documentaries on it, Netflix, right? The
The girls
people-
getting pregnant, like coming
Yeah.
in class, 6th grade.
Yeah.
They're bringing their kids in the class.
Sure. So let's touch on that quickly. Like we lost a friend,
Yeah.
right? We lost a friend named Omar Suleiman. This guy was a top G. Like this guy was like he was a good-looking guy, and he got involved with the
Decepticons.
yeah, Decept, right? That's right. For those young millennials that probably making fun of this, there's a Transformers. That's a
That was it, yeah.
yeah, and
That
that
was a show.
and that but that Decepticons thing was from that show, and there was gangs of this. I mean, all around. And when they come walking, you cross the street. It was no joke. So our buddy was recruited in that, and then his parents sent him to Pakistan. Then he came back right back into it. Then he got into juvenile. For the record, the guy had a beautiful heart, always respected for our parents.
Yeah.
He never picked on his own.
Yeah.
He protected his own, right?
Protected us.
When he came back from juvenile, he was very good looking, very stock in the muscles.
Working out.
They had these jeans back in the day. We had graffiti on the side, and he had them. I was like, "Don't want to get those."
Damage.
Damage. No, not damage. That was another.
That was a brand.
That was my brand.
Oh.
But and then one day, one sad morning, we find out he got shot
Yeah.
and he's dead. And I mean, that was like our Tupac time. It was just like the Biggie Smalls of our time. Like streets were filled with Pakistani people, Puerto Rican. He was a big part of the Puerto Rican community, and everyone. And the cemetery. Like, you want to touch on that?
A lot of people. I mean, that was. I mean, it was also very early on, right? I mean,
Very
growing
early.
up, I think that was one of the first funerals that we actually
We
attended.
ever went to, and someone
Right.
of our age, almost.
Yeah.
He was, our,
And it was
like-
really eye-opening. Like, man, this could happen to us.
he was like a year or
Right.
two older than you. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting though? That he gave a lot of respect
I
to
know.
like the aunties and stuff,
He's
right?
protect him.
Like I remember there was one time I was walking with my mom and he was with his friends on the corner,
Yeah.
like smoking and,
Doing stuff.
yeah, probably doing things that he probably should not have
Sure.
been doing, especially at that time. I guess
Sure.
at that time kids should have been in school.
Sure.
But he sees me and my mom. All of a sudden he takes his cigarette, whatever, and he just throws it on the side.
To
right?
respect.
Just out of respect,
Yeah.
right? And he says salam to my mom. And my mom, she was also a typical Pakistani
Yeah.
woman, like, "Tum smoking kar rahe the?" Omer?
What does that mean? Translate for my non.
Were you just
Yeah.
smoking?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm, Islam auntie, doing okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're embarrassed probably.
Yeah.
Did he help
So-
with the bags, grocery bags?
Yeah,
Take-
help with the
grab
grocery
it,
bags and stuff.
Walk
Yeah,
to the
just
house.
overall nice guy. But that was really eye opening, right? I mean,
was.
his death. I mean, seeing someone so close in age, passing away. I mean, it's one of the first funerals I attended.
Me too. We were together, and it was sad. But yeah, that's Brooklyn for us. Like in South Florida, where my cousins were raised, they don't have a story like that, right? I think people here in Tracy and San Francisco didn't. I think have a story like that, and that was Brooklyn, New York, right? Like for me, man, a single mom. I remember a lot of times we've come from Flatbush. I was like, what the hell, man? Like,
The Junction, yeah, that was
yeah,
a scary
man.
place.
It was interesting time.